Let's talk about different storage types in Solidity. We have three of them: storage, memory, and call data. Let's discuss about storage first. All the variables in the arrays declared outside of the functions are state variables and stored in storage by default. Storage means data is stored directly on the blockchain. Let's see that with an example. Let's declare a variable of type string. Let's say string and variable name, Twitter account, and set it to Anni underscore Maan. So now this is our state variable. Since we have declared it in the context scope, that means it will be stored directly on the blockchain. So storage is very simple. Anything that you declare outside of functions will be directly stored on blockchain. It doesn't matter what type. It can be array, it can be string, it can be integer type, or any other type. The second storage type is memory, which is a temporary storage. You can declare memory type variables only inside the function or to receive the function parameters. You can also modify these memory type variables inside your function. I know you would think, of course, I can modify a function parameters inside the function. Isn't that obvious? Well, hold that thought and you would know why I explicitly highlighted this point. Once the function execution is completed, these variables are cleared from memory. So let's quickly create a function. So function display account, and let's say string, and here we'll receive the memory type parameter, which means it is temporary. So let's say account name and set it to public pure and returns string and same memory type. And here do return and the variable that we are receiving from the parameter. We are returning the same variable. So now let's deploy this contract. So let me clean this. Let's deploy. And now let's pass the name. Let's say Anni Maan. And we got a result back. And as soon as this function call is executed, so that means now it has cleared the memory that was allocated to this variable. You can think of memory type variables like your laptop RAM. You will have access to your unsaved data as long as your laptop is running. Once you'll shut down your laptop, your unsaved data will be cleared from RAM and you won't be able to access it later once you'll turn on your machine. The third storage type is call data, which is also a temporary storage, just like memory. You might be wondering, why do we need another temporary storage when we already have the memory type? The call data is indeed temporary storage, but it is little bit different from memory type. The main difference is call data storage is non-modifiable storage, which means once function parameters are passed, you cannot modify them inside the function. I hope you remember the point where I highlighted that you can modify function parameters for memory type. So here is the difference. In call data, you cannot modify them. The second big difference is it is cheaper than memory type and mostly used with external function types. Let's quickly clear this up and declare a new function. So do function result, let's say string and call data and underscore a, and do external here returns string call data. Mostly call data is used with external functions. So let's return underscore a. Let's deploy this. Let's access our function. Let's pass the parameter Anni Maan. And it will give us our result back because we are returning the same parameter back to the return. So now if you'll try to change this variable here, let's say if you'll try to do underscore a and try to change it to, let's say, changed or something, it won't allow you. Your compiler will give you the error because it says you cannot change this. So it is because of the call data. So you can remove it. There is one more thing about the external type function. Mostly people think that external type function can only be called from the external functions and they cannot be accessed within the same contract. But that is not entirely true. You can still access this external type function inside the same contract. So let's see how we can do that. So declare a new function here, function, and let's say access external, set it to public and set it to view and returns string memory. And here let's do return. So this is the important one. This keyword is the main keyword by using which we can call the external function inside the same contract. So result, and let's pass the variable name Twitter account. So it was Twitter account, not this. Twitter account, and all set. Now see what we are doing here. We are using this variable. Then we are passing this variable to this function, which is declared as external function, and it is taking the input as a call data, and then it is returning this input as call data as well. And here we are converting that call data into memory type when we are returning it. So now let's deploy this contract. And let's first call this function result. It will still work the same way it was working earlier. So you can still call it from externally. And when you'll click on the access external, now it should return this name instead of Anni Maan because we are passing this here. So do it. And you can see it is returning us the Anni Maan. So this is how you can access the external type function inside the same contract. So now I hope you are clear with the storage types. So first one, storage. If you declare these variables outside of the function, so they will be by default stored on the blockchain. Second type is memory type. So they are temporary storage and you can modify those variables. And third one is call data. First, you cannot modify the call data parameters. And the second one is they are cheaper than the memory type. And the third one is even though you have defined your function external type, you can still access them inside the current contract by using this keyword. And that's pretty much about the storage.